Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers, the Bakersfield Basher. That's Kevin Harvick in the 29. This during the caution, getting help from teammates.
This is what happens when you have teammates that work with you instead of against you. That's the difference right now, I think, between Kevin Harvick going to victory lane and not going to victory lane. And
the closer with time to celebrate, even after the win. Didn't like this, says isn't a track that plays into his hands. But now you get the impression, no matter where he races, he's a guy that will come out of somewhere to challenge at the end. You give him a little opening, and Kevin Harvick will slam the door shut, as he did here. 603 miles in the Coca Cola 600, the first ever green-white checker overtime that we've had in this race, NASCAR's marathon.
Yeah, now you see Kevin Harvick right there. He's in second position behind Carl Edwards. Jimmy drops back a little bit. It's just one of those things and one of those years where you never know who's going to wind up winning.
Largest points lead of the season for Carl Edwards. He expands that. Biffle, who did not comment, leaving the track along with Casey Kane, but you see he's up to 11th in points, and those points are where you are from that top 10 spot. And if you have a win in the column already, that works in your favor as to being a wild card. So that would help Jeff Gordon, and Regan Smith, who had a top 10 finish, has a win this year, trying to inch a little bit closer. The last previous Coca Cola 600 win by Richard Childress Racing, 1993, Dale Earnhardt. But he gets it done with Kevin Harvick. Final comments from Darrell, Larry, and Mike.
Chris, we want to take a look at that last restart and watch the 4 of Casey Kane, who is the race leader, as we get back to green here.
Yeah, Kane had no shot here of making it because he runs out of fuel right here. You're going to see him. He accelerates and then the car just dies. Here comes Keselowski. He gets into the back of Casey Kane. Carl Edwards gets into the back of the 31 car, turns him around.
And then the last lap, Dale Earnhardt Jr., 1,000 feet from home.
And he had a huge lead right here, Mike. I mean, he had really pulled out a huge lead over Kevin Harvick.
Saw Denny Hamlin in 11 running out of fuel. That's how Kevin Harvick went from third to take the checker flag first in about a fourth of a lap.
38 lead changes, most in a 600 since 1988, and only the second ever last lap pass for the finish. In 2005, Jimmy Johnson passed Bobby Labonte on the last lap to win it.
One thing I was really glad, NASCAR didn't overreact. They didn't throw the caution. By the time the leaders got back around here, the track was clear, and they let them race to the finish. I like that.
And when you look at Kevin Harvick, he doesn't lead a lot of laps, but he leads the right laps. You know, with 12 races into 2011, he has 3 wins. Just look at Charlotte. He even said it in his interview. I just don't like the place. He had only led 3 laps here in 20 starts. He leads 2 tonight, but he leads one of the right ones.
Great win for Harvick, and best finish of the season for David Reagan, Joey Logano, and A.J. Allmendinger. Here's Krista.
Both Penske cars running extremely well tonight with Kurt Busch in the garage, a top 5 finish. I know after 600 miles, never knowing what can happen at the end of that race, you have to leave here feeling like things may be on an upswing.
Yeah, we definitely ran strong tonight, and it feels good. You know, we had all the problems in the pits, but yet we persevered and had enough fuel to make it. And it always feels good when you're driving a shell car to have enough gas to make it. So thanks to my guys for calculating correctly. And, you know, it stumbled a little bit, but we were able to hang in there and actually make a pass on the last lap. And being competitive, that's what Roger Penske always talks about, and that's what gave us a strong night tonight. Even though we were a good top 10 car, we'll take 4th place. Shell Pennzoil Dodge, definitely what we needed to get a kick in the rear end, get going the right direction.
Last year's winner gets that kick in the rear end right into the top 5, Chris.
All right, thank you, Krista and Kurt Busch. And there is Kevin Harvick. We made mention of leading only 2 laps tonight out of the 603 miles. And the Indy 500, Dan Weldon, led only 1 lap. In fact, we have a highlight. Let's take a look, because rookie J.R. Hildebrand had the race won, just like you would have figured Dale Earnhardt Jr. Fuel wasn't the problem. It was lap traffic. He goes into the wall, and then Dan Weldon zips through for the victory, his second Indianapolis 500 victory, as he celebrated. And then after a long day and night of racing, Dale Earnhardt Jr. runs out of fuel. Steve Letarte frustrated, and Kevin Harvick comes in for his 3rd win to lead all drivers after 12 races in the NASCAR season, and the celebration continues.
Yeah, it was very unpredictable. And one guy that you got to go back, I think, and tip your hat to has to be Joey Logano. He missed 2 big wrecks, folks. If you remember the 47 car Bobby Labonte spinning early that night, he barely got by that. He missed another big wreck. He comes back, he finishes 3rd.
Brad Keselowski started on the pole up front with A.J. Allmendinger, and a wild night for a lot of drivers. In fact, let's check in. Matt Yoakum is with A.J.
a top 5 finish for A.J. Allmendinger. Track position, was that the most important key tonight?
Man, it was insane. You know, hats off to Goodyear. They actually brought too good of a tire. The thing was so gripped up. Everybody wanted the bottom, and the tires just wouldn't really fall off that much. So, I mean, the U.S. Air Force Ford was so fast once we got out inside the top 3, and more than anything, the finish is great, and that's great for the points. But that's what I'm most proud of is we've really struggled on these racetracks, and the 9's been really good, but the 43 side we haven't been very good. So just proud of Mike Shiplett and everybody on the crew. We had good pit stops, which is something we've been lacking. So the whole night was good, and I didn't know how it was going to turn out. You know, it was we were back in 23rd for a while, but you know, I'm proud of the finish, but more than anything, proud of the night and proud of the race car we brought. So I actually look forward to Kansas now.
Thanks, AJ.
We'll look ahead to next week and more from Charlotte, North Carolina. The racing gods must be crazy on this weekend after some crazy finishes, but Kevin Harvick will take it. Promotional considerations provided by
Get on it. You're going to get him. Come on. Hammer down. Hammer down. He's out of gas. Come on. Yeah, boy. Big job. Gil, that was on you, buddy. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We'll take it however we get him. Great job. 500 more feet. We need 500 more feet. Everybody did a great job. Great job. Hey, be proud, man.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his crew. Radio communication before that from the winner, Kevin Harvick. Gil Martin, his crew chief. Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers are wrapping things up. Well, through 12 races, Harvick has won 3. We know that Carl Edwards is the points leader. Jimmy Johnson, the Dominator, 5-time, having some problems tonight. So the 1/3 mark of the season. Looks like that championship picture. Remember, Harvick last year talked about the Golden Horseshoe, and they're lucky, and we're going to take them out.
I think he found it. I really do, because, again, he has closed these deals out. He's not been the car to beat at different times, but in the end, he's gotten the victory lane. That's something you have to do, but you need to continue to work on being more competitive, because you're not always going to be lucky.
And he certainly is aggressive. Tonight on Fox, after a long day and a long night, 603 miles here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Most of you, your late local news, except on the West Coast. You know, Fayetteville, North Carolina is where Babe Ruth hit his first professional home run in the minor leagues. And next Saturday, baseball on Fox, the start time at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. Among the games, Cubs and Cardinals, Dodgers and Reds. And then next Sunday, we'll be in Kansas, presented by True Grit, 12:30 Eastern on the pre-race show delivered by Pizza Hut. Greg Biffle won the race last year. Kansas, the first of 2 races of this year around, as the Harvick celebration continues. If you want more coverage from the race this evening, you can turn over to our neighbors in Speed. They always have plenty of racing activity for you. We're glad to have you along with us on this Memorial Day weekend. The tradition of the Coca Cola 600 continues. The bond between drivers, the folks of NASCAR, and the military. It's a weekend to reflect and remember all of those who have served before us. For Jeff Hammond, our entire production crew, I'm Chris Myers. We hope to see you next week in Kansas. Thanks for watching NASCAR on Fox.